Did your hair?
What?
Nah, I'm
Hi Pookies, it's LpsHoney. Welcome to a new video, and today we're going to be going over the new LPS quote-unquote leaks that were shown online. I just want to preface this by saying they're not really leaks because you can access these pictures through an online magazine, so it's not like technically a leak because they are accessible to the public. So I'm going to leave a link to the magazine in the description down below if you want to read it yourself, but I will also be linking to the original Reddit post where I first found out about this information, so all of that is in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourself. But let's get on to the LPS themselves because oh boy. So here's the full image of the most recent LPS sneak peeks we've gotten. As you can see, it's the full magazine page where they're talking about LPS, but also My Little Pony. And then what's got the community buzzing is this image in particular. And that's because all the other images on this page of LPS are already existing G7 pets, whereas all of the pets in this image are brand new for what I assume is the next wave of LPS. Let's break this image down because there is a lot of differing opinions online about the pets, and I want to give my personal opinion on each one in this photo. So let's start with the pets that are pretty much re-releases of existing designs. The first one I want to cover is this poodle. It is pretty much an exact re-release. The only differences I can really see are the eyes. They're facing a different direction. Other than that, everything looks pretty much identical. I can't really make out if this pet has a personality mark and if it does, where it is located, but I would assume it would have one, so that would also be a difference. But just going off this particular image, the only difference is the eye direction. I've seen quite a few people in the community be disappointed that there are some re-released designs, but that's kind of been an ongoing theme with G7 LPS, at least for this year. Hopefully by next year we can get completely new designs every single release, but for now it seems that they're continuing with re-releases of old designs, just slightly tweaked here and there. I'm personally not super mad about it. If I was to get this poodle again, I would probably just paint the bows so it looks different. But other than that, I think it's a cute pet, and there are definitely ones that I would have been more disappointed with if they got a double, so this one I'm pretty okay with. Next up is this bunny, which is also kind of a re-release. This one's a bit more different compared to the poodle. The right ear's design is different. It also has the personality mark on the left ear, and it doesn't seem to have its paws and chest painted on the body on the new release. It's also missing the swirl on its forehead, so there are a few more differences with this bunny, but it's pretty much the same color palette and overall design. For me personally, I actually like the new re-released design that's going to be coming out because I'm not a fan of the swirl on the original G2's forehead. I just think it looks really out of place. So again, I don't really mind this one. I actually prefer the new one that's coming out, but I could understand if you were disappointed in this because I know for me personally, this isn't my favorite bunny mold. Side note, these two have pretty similar designs, and I think it would have been really cool if Basic Fun had taken a long ear bunny like this one and continued the similar designs instead of pretty much re-releasing this one. But that's just me. Next is this giraffe, and I have seen so many people online get heated about this giraffe. It's kind of crazy because I like the design of the original. I really freaking love the aqua that they used, and when I saw that they were re-releasing it, I was like, okay. But again, much like the poodle, the eyes are different. In the original design, he's looking to the left. In this new G7 version, he's pretty much looking straight ahead. I think the blue might also be slightly different in the eyes, but that could just be the graininess of the photo. And overall, the body looks way lighter. The original G2 pet is quite like a, I don't know how to explain this color. It's quite like a neutral peach, whereas this new one looks super light cream color almost. It could just be the lighting, but I am hopeful that the color is much lighter, so there is more difference to them. This is probably the one I'm the least angry about them being remade, because it does look different to me. Like I said, the eyes are different and the body color seems a lot lighter. If it's actually lighter like the picture, I'll be completely fine with that. However, if it's the same peachy color as this G2 version, then I will definitely be more disappointed. So those are all the designs that are being pretty much recreated in G7 with a few slight tweaks here and there. The next 4 LPS are either completely new molds or they are new designs of old G2 molds. Let's talk about this little freaking yellow bird in the corner, okay? I am tired of this bird. I have a G2 counterpart on the left here, and it is based off this mold, and I am kind of tired of seeing this bird. We already got a G7 release of this bird. It's this one here, which shares a very similar look to the original G2 design. Then we've got this one in the blind boxes, which technically is a different mold. It's based off this Pet Triplets mold instead, but I absolutely hate this G7 one. He is like the most hideous G7 they've released so far. I'm sorry, bro, it's just the truth. I don't know what they were thinking with you. But I think it would have been so cool if they had taken the third remaining Pet Triplets bird mold and used that one instead. He's got his little feathers together singing a little song. I just think it was a missed opportunity making the same mold we've already gotten once in G7 again instead of doing the remaining Pet Triplet bird, because then we could have had like a modern G7 Pet Triplets almost. So looking at the design overall compared to the G2 version of this bird, I'm pretty fine with it. I don't have strong opinions either way. I like the pink color that they used on like the feathers and the top of the head. I'm not that like opinionated on him. I just think he's okay. Continuing with Pet Triplets, we have a Pet Triplets turtle returning, and I am very excited about this one because I think it actually looks better than the original Pet Triplets turtle. So these are the 3 designs for the Pet Triplets turtles. They're all quite goofy looking and I do love them a lot. This mold here specifically is the one they're using for the new G7 version. I am really liking the new G7 one. It's very shiny in the picture, and I don't know if that's just because it is like a pet for show, so maybe the paint they've used is different to how it's going to be released, but I really like the colors. I love the shell. I don't know, I just think the design is overall nicer than the original Pet Triplets one. I do love the original, don't get me wrong, but the eyes are very like buggy, whereas the new one has the kind of big G7 eyes that we've been getting a lot of, and I think it works really well for this mold. Actually, looking at the image more, I think it might actually be a head swap between these 2 Pet Triplet turtles. It's this one's body, but this one's head, because as you can see, this one has very open eyes, where this one has kind of like an eyelid kind of squinting underneath. And the G7 version has those open eyes. So I think Basic Fun might have actually head swapped these 2, which is kind of cool. I was wondering why he looked so much more like open-eyed in this new version, and I think that is the reason. I really do think they head swapped these 2 Pet Triplet turtles. And let's continue with head swaps, because the next pet for me is probably the most exciting, and that is this pretty much new LPS mold we're getting that consists of a husky head with a wolf body. I was so surprised when I saw this image because unlike the turtle, I noticed straight away that this was a head swap. I was like, girl, that is not a freaking husky body. What is that? And it looks like Basic Fun is really taking inspiration from the customizing part of the LPS community, because they have gone ahead and head swapped 2 molds to create a brand new one. I think this husky looks amazing. I love the colors that they used, and they've put like so much detail in it as well. The one thing I'm not a fan of is the lightning bolt smack bang in the middle of his head. But I feel like if I was to get this husky, I would probably just paint over it with some brown paint and call it a day, because the rest of it looks amazing. He's got an adorable little tongue and these really dark brown eyes, which just make him look like a little baby. He's just so cute, and my favorite pet revealed from this image. I think Basic Fun also chose just a really good body to head swap for the husky in general. Huskies have quite fluffy bodies traditionally when it comes to LPS, so choosing the wolf body as its little standing substitute was a really good idea because it has all that fluff already part of it. I think this also opens the door to a lot of different head swap opportunities that maybe we hadn't considered before. Like, we might be able to see a sitting wolf in the future with like a husky body. I don't know. The possibilities are really endless now that Basic Fun is getting into the head swapping game, and I'm super excited about it. Going back to the image, he also seems to have the kind of shiny paint look that the turtle had, and again, I feel like maybe this is just because it's promotional images and not the actual LPS released in stores. I've seen a lot of people say that he kind of looks a bit cheap and the paint doesn't look the best, which I could understand, but let me know what your guys' opinion is in the comments down below because I'm very interested. I personally love this husky wolf mix, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, so I'd love to get opinions. Let's move on to the final pet. The monstrosity that is the new G7 sloth. I have so many feelings towards this pet and I don't think any of them are good. So this isn't the first time you guys have seen this sloth on my channel. If you watched one of my previous update videos, there was a toy account on Instagram that accidentally leaked the design, at least for the sloth. It wasn't a physical image, it was a digital mock-up, but it's pretty much identical to the design we have now seen with this image of the sloth. So it exists, it's a real pet in the physical world. Right off the bat, I want to say that I am always grateful to Basic Fun for trying new animals, bringing new things to the LPS community that previously didn't exist within G2 Pets. Love that, awesome, please keep doing that. But I think that some of the designs are a bit questionable. A few things that I really do not like about this sloth mainly are the colors. I think that the albino with orange hair just is not hitting the way it should be. I would have loved to have seen a darker brown sloth instead. Looking at the colors, I'd be more inclined to think this was an orangutan if it wasn't for the claws. He also has a very sassy pose. I'm loving the limp wrist. Yeah. Unfortunately, he seems to be suffering from the G7 curse. Now, what is the G7 curse, you may be asking yourself? Well, it is elongated eyes and a big freaking forehead. Let me use these three as an example. The two axolotls and the French bulldog. So cool, love that they make new molds. The longer I have them, the more they grow on me, and I've really come to appreciate them a lot more than I originally did. So maybe that'll be the case for the sloth too, who knows. They all have one thing in common, and that is a massive forehead. I don't know what it is. I don't know why Basic Fun chooses to make their foreheads so big, but for whatever reason, they all have this little egg head. So specifically on the French Bulldog, he has these elongated eyes that aren't correctly printed on his circular eye molds. I've seen it on pretty much every version of the French Bulldog. It's not like I just got a printing error. They are all like this. Seeing this new sloth, it really doesn't surprise me that they gave him a big forehead and these long oval eyes, because it seems to be a running theme when it comes to new molds within G7. Big forehead? I don't mind. Honestly, I mean, look at my mascot. The girl's got a freaking cranium. But the elongated eyes really throw me off. They feel less LPS, I guess. Just to me, at least. I feel like in general, LPS have pretty rounded eyes all around. Now and again, you might get eyes that are slightly different shapes, but in general, they're just more rounded than this sloth's eyes are looking. I do want to say something positive about this sloth though is the body. I think the body mold looks completely fine. It looks pretty good, honestly. I like the little claws. I like that he's sitting with his little legs out. It's mainly just the head for me and the colors that are kind of off-putting. It's just weird looking in my opinion, and if I were to get him, I would definitely give him a new lick of paint to make him more of a dark brown with kind of light brown highlights, and try and make his eyes more circular. Sloth has definitely been the most divisive amongst the community since being revealed. There is a small amount of people who do actually like him, but there has been a lot of hate for this little guy online, and while I don't like a lot of him, admittedly, I think that it's still cool that Basic Fun is giving us new molds. Like a lot of people, I was very skeptical and kind of worried that this axolotl pet wouldn't look good when it was first released, but now that I have it in my hands as a physical product, I think it looks a lot better than how Basic Fun was making it seem with the promotional images. So I'm hopeful that our sloth will also get that kind of treatment. I'm hoping that with this promotional image, this sloth is just our first kind of design, and when it actually gets physically released, it'll look better, much like the axolotl. So let me know your opinions about these new LPS that have been revealed. What do you think? Overall, I am pretty happy with the lineup. Yes, there are some re-releases of old designs, but to me, I'm not super fussed over it. I am very excited for the turtle and the husky / wolf. I don't really know what breed to call it because they may even call it like a new dog breed, who knows. Now I'm just gonna stick to husky because it does have a husky head, but I'm definitely excited for that one and the turtle the most. Right now I'm definitely not a fan of the sloth, but I'm hoping it will look better in person. I'm also just really excited to see what Basic Fun does moving forward with head swapping. Now that we've seen 2 molds with head swaps, it's kind of like, what are they gonna do next? Also, Basic Fun, if you're thinking about bringing more pet triplet molds back, I have some suggestions. I'd love to see the pet triplet horses or butterflies make a return, specifically these 2 designs. I think they're so freaking adorable. but that's just me. So there you are, that is the most recent LPS news we have received. Like I said, I will link the magazine that these images came from in the description down below, as well as the original Reddit post that kind of made it popular with everyone online. Let me know your opinions in the comments down below, and thank you all so much for watching this update video. If you enjoyed, like always, please don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe, and check out my other videos. Please, thank you, I love you, and I will see you next time.